I want to say this. One thing I do notice, it was never me. It was never about me. It was about the people that were around me. It was about my coach. It was about my parents. It was about the parents. I undermined everybody. They didn't like how strong I was. So at school, Notre Dame, Coach Powell felt undermined because he really believed in his heart of hearts that he was a great coach. When I was telling him, you don't know what you're talking about, you're a horrible coach, he wanted to keep on believing that I was crazy and that I wasn't as good as I was telling him because my grades weren't a certain way. I realized it was never about me in particular. It was just about my skin color. The way he felt that way because he knew that he wasn't a great coach. He didn't want to believe that he wasn't a great coach. So he had to make it seem like I was the problem. So he set me up to lose, to break my foot, and it just happened to be against West Haven. No. He did that on purpose to show his allegiance to West Haven, but also the teachers at the school were mad how solid, strong of a man I was, a black man I was as well. I realized what was going on now that I didn't have parents to tell me this. My father did say, oh man, you undermined the coach. But he said that after I graduated college, like, why didn't you tell me that when I was in high school? Now I get the whole game. It was never about me. It was about my energy, my aura. I was confident in myself without having the grades, and they had to destroy that in some way, shape, or form. And my parents joined the bandwagon because it was easier, and they had a son that was coming up behind me, and they thought that he could be better than me somehow, some way, which is ridiculous. So then also my parents were fighting amongst themselves. My mother, knowing she's stubborn, my father being stubborn, but getting me that far with basketball. I had to do a lot of it myself because he, at a certain point, he stopped even playing basketball with me. So I had to figure out how to get better on my own. And when he would try to tell me to go outside instead of play the video games, he didn't understand that I was playing that video game to learn how to play the game better and more efficient. So he took that as a disrespect, like, oh, you disrespected me, you undermining me there. So it was meant for me to fail the whole time. The whole time in my life, I was meant to fail because I made small people feel smaller than what they were smaller than that. Like, they felt really tiny. They did, because think about it. Okay, let's say my parents are 40 something. I'm 17, 18, and I'm doing this on my own, and I'm getting ranked in the nation. I got bad grades. I meet Kobe Bryant. I got Chris Smith from the UConn telling me I'm going to change the game and make tons of money. They didn't like the fact that I was able to feel that confident and I was getting solidified by pros. Like, they didn't like that. No, if it was gonna be somebody, they wanted me to be at an urban school, or they want me to have good grades, and they didn't. I get it now. I get it. I totally understand. It was never about me. It was about my aura. It hurt older men's hearts, feelings. It hurt their feelings. They were bitch-made people. They got hurt by a kid. I'm a grown, strong-ass little kid that had no help, nobody did shit for me when it came to this game. I did it myself, and they didn't like how I was making them feel. I made them feel less than a man. Because I understand it now with me going to the military, me just seeing how things are, outside of being in West Haven, outside of being in Connecticut. When I go to different states and places, I see what hurt everybody else's feelings. I made men that were 60-something years old, 40-something years old. I made any man that ever stood up beside me have to be a confident man because they're not going to win beside me. So if they felt like if they took basketball from me or put a chip on my shoulder or just hurt me in some way, that I'd end up the way I am now. But I had to learn all this stuff on my own. And what did I do? I became the person that they wanted me to become. I proved to them that I was that way, but I'm not really that way. I was just hurt. I'm an empathetic person. They wanted to get to me. All that stuff that happened in high school, that was all strategic planning. My mother was plotting on me. Coach Powell was plotting on me. Coach, what's his name for West Haven? Bosley was plotting on me. They were all plotting on me. It was all plotting. And because I hurt their feelings. So I have no choice but to be who I am right now. And that's why they got mad when that girl came around and was able to protect me somewhat from the people that I did not see as sheeps, wolves. And that's why my mother wanted me to go off to the military or get away from that girl so she can conquer. I get it now. I totally understand. So me being statistic, becoming, angry, I get it. I understand it now. That shit hurts my heart. And I hope that their judgment day for trying to destroy a little urban kid's dream that he knew he was going to obtain, I hope you guys have the hardest sleep ever in life for the rest of your life. That is insanity that I was that strong of a human being, a little kid who had no support, no love, no nothing. I didn't have none of that. Just because my parents looked like they had something, they weren't shit. Not to be disrespectful, but they didn't show me no love. They didn't give me a hug. They didn't tell me I was a good person. They didn't tell me I was nothing. I thought of this stuff myself, and I went out there and went for it. They had to break my foot, put a screw in my foot, gaslight me to stop me from doing what I had to do. They had to divide me from a person that was going to bring me to the promised land. They had to do everything possible to stop me. That's how strong of a black man I was, or a human I was. And that's why my parents can't look me in my eyes now. That's why Coach Powell acts like a little bitch and he can't look me in my eyes now either. That's why Bosley can't look me in my eyes. That's why nobody in that city, nobody in that state really can look me in my eyes now. They knew that they in Connecticut knew that they fucked me over. And that's why that girl came to me, to unfuck what they fucked me over as an urban city kid. And that's why she kept trying to get me to understand the shit that was going on, because I was so blind. They had gaslit me and manipulated me so much, so hard, that I couldn't come back from it. Especially the military. When I got to the military, I was gaslit again and manipulated again. And that's why my mother attacked me the way she did when I got home from the military. And that's why my brother attacked me. That's why my father attacked me. Because then they replaced that energy, that confidence and everything I had. They're trying to instill it into my brother. Because they told him, you the darker version. You taller than him. You better than him at this. It was never I wasn't going to win. They were going to take me out. My father, my mother, my brother, all the people down the street, they were all going to take me out. Regardless, if I had got close, they were going to be envious fucking people and knock me off my pedestal. They want to see me the way I am, or the way I was, in the car, this shit like that. That's why nobody came to help me. But all those people had a part in that. In all actuality, I just didn't have any love. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have none of that. And they saw how strong I was, and I was stronger than a whole town of people. Even New Haven, I was stronger than everybody. I was stronger than Hamden, New Haven, East Haven, all of them places. I was stronger than everybody. Mentally, physically, everything. So they decided to manipulate and gaslight to destroy my opportunity at changing the whole state. That's how nasty of people I left in Connecticut. New Haven, West Haven, nasty people. And that's why you'll never see me represent Notre Dame. You'll never see me represent West Haven, because Coach Powell and Bosley tried to fuck me over along with my parents. And they know they did. That's why my parents are that's why they're distant now. That's why they don't talk to me anymore. My father knows what he did. My family down in North Carolina knows what my father did. My aunts and my uncles and my cousins and everybody on my mom's side tried to take me down. My cousin was with me when when anything happened to me, my fat ass cousin was right there with me. And then pointing the finger like he did it. And then had his friend say that I did something that I didn't do. Bro, they was making up all types of shit on me, bro. So now I understand exactly who I am. When you get any kind of love, when you never had love before, you become powerful. You get so strong. I just left the Gergens house, and I feel more love there than I ever did in Connecticut. Just with them than I ever felt in Connecticut. And I understand. I was driving back and I was like, it's just how strong I was. And they hated the fact that I knew it, and I would talk about it and tell people how strong I was and what I was going to do. So they had to knock me off. That's a nigga mentality that they did to me. What they did was a nigga mentality, and they tried to gaslight me and then manipulate me and say it was me. I was the evil person. I was a bad person. They needed to stop me. They all had their own agendas. And that's why Coach Powell, that's why Notre Dame ended up getting that boy Waters. Tremont Waters, they went and got Tremont Waters and tried to boost him up. But all actuality, Coach Powell was just a horrible fucking coach. He was just a trash coach. He knew that, and he just didn't want to believe the game surpassed him. And that's why, like I said to him, when I was a senior, I said, whenever Coach Shea takes over, the school's going to blow up. They're going to get real good at basketball. And sure enough, it happened. So, it was always the coaches, the men that were around me, and then some of the women that were around me. Everybody wanted to take me out. Because I was handsome, I had a great body, I could speak well. They hated me. Because I was just a strong black man. They all had their own little fucking agenda to take me out. The girl I was with, she was over here telling people, making up stories. She over here going to UConn, fucking everybody. And then trying to say that I'm a bad person. I've dealt with it all. And I noticed after today, after leaving the Gergens house, it was never me. It was an agenda that they had for they had animosity for themselves. They hated themselves. And they hated the fact that, how dare this nigger come over here? Like Coach Powell says, these niggers come over here and make me feel bad. He undermined me. And then you had Lee, or you had Justin, or making up stories too, talking to him, saying I was manipulated. The whole time it was manipulation, and they were going to take me all the way out. It wasn't just twisted ankles. They was plotting to make my value go all the way down so they could just knock me off. And my parents co-signed it. So, I get it now. I totally understand it now. I never thought that my parents would do something like that to me. I never, ever, I thought they were my protection. And come to find out, they were snakes just as well. My family. I'm that strong of a man. That's okay.